Would you date someone who's trans? Would you date someone who's black? Would you date someone who's fat? Would you date someone who's disabled? Now, honestly, I don't know what your answer is to those questions, but I've met a surprising number of people who would say no to all or at least some of
You mean you met human being?
them. Their argument is that it's just a preference and that you can't control who you're attracted to. I think most of the time that this is brought up, it's in regards to race. I'll link to a couple really good videos in the description about racial dating preferences, but in this video, I want to talk about our other biases. Let's start with trans people. Would you date a trans person? Honestly? Think about it for a second. Okay, got your answer? Well, if you said no, I'm sorry, but that's pretty discriminatory.
No, it's not.
Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you're a horrible person who hates trans people.
Oh, thanks. I do not know what I would do if you thought I was a bad person.
There was probably a time in my life when I said I wouldn't date a trans person, but since then I've thought critically about it and changed my mind. I could sit here and show you photos of conventionally attractive trans people. There are definitely trans people who you would never know are trans unless they told
So you mean they lie? It will make me not attracted even if it is a beautiful woman.
you because they pass for cis. And that might convince some of you, but I think arguing that you would only like a trans person if you didn't know they were trans is a poor argument. I think you could be attracted to any trans person, whether they pass or not.
First of all, stop thinking, it is not healthy for you. Now everyone is attracted to what suits them, and you will not tell people whom to attracted to.
I think the main concern that people have in regards to dating a trans person is that they won't have the genitals that they expect.
No. It does not matter what they have down, I'm not attracted to a man. And no matter what you do, you will always remain a man.
Because we associate penises with men and vaginas with women,
It's science. But more importantly, if you do not have the plan to create eggs inside the body, you are a man.
some people think they could never date a trans man with a vagina or a trans woman with a penis.
Yes, and there are people who cannot go out with a 100-year-old man or 100-year-old woman. So what?
But I think that people are more than their genitals. I think that you could feel attraction to someone without knowing what's between their legs.
I understand that everything is related to sex with you. But it's not just that for most people.
And if you were to say that you're only attracted to people with vaginas or people with penises, it really feels like you're reducing people just to their genitals.
No. I put people in the category of what I love.
You're kind of objectifying them, but you're thinking of them more as genitals than objects.
No, again. You're the one who looks at them as a sexual objects and nothing else, that's why you're talking about their sexual organs so much.
So I guess you're kind of genitalifying them? Anyway, my point is, we have implicit biases that we were raised with or that we developed over time, and they can be hard to get rid of.
No. A normal person learns in life, when he is growing up, what he is attracted to and what not. But what do you understand? You never grew up.
And I think this can be especially prominent within the queer community. Gay men often pride themselves on being disgusted by vaginas, and the same goes for lesbian women with penises.
Yes, again, everyone and what is good for him.
It's difficult because some queer people have built their sexual identities on these repulsions, but I don't think they're innate at all. If you met someone who was extremely attractive, had a great personality, but didn't have the genitals that you wanted, you might be surprised to find that it isn't a deal breaker.
To you.
As someone who is trans and gay, sometimes people ask me, with a very accusatory tone, if I would date a girl with a penis. Because there's this stereotype that trans lesbians are just predatory cis men creeping on cis women. But the thing is, I absolutely could be attracted to a woman with a penis. I could be attracted to any woman, cis or trans. If I find you attractive, I don't care what you have
So all this video comes to give you more options to fuck the world?
down there. But we know that sexual orientations are more innate than learned. They're more nature and less nurture. Gay conversion therapy has been proven not
You have now proved in one word that everything you said was wrong, nature.
to work. But you can unlearn your own prejudices. It just takes time and conscious effort.
You have now proved in one word that everything you said was wrong, nature. Nature is not prejudice. You are.
And the way that we talk about potentially dating trans people has a lot in common with the way we discuss other preferences. Saying that you're not attracted to fat people isn't innate. It's informed by a society that tells you that being thin is ideal.
Liar.
Everything in the media you consume is bombarding you with messages that skinny is beautiful and fat is ugly.
Not today.
And even the nicest of people absorb these messages to some degree. But again, if you find someone attractive and really enjoy spending time with them, there's no reason why their weight should be a factor.
Everything has to be taken into consideration. Will he live long enough to raise the children? Can I have children with him? Can I continue enjoying the activities I love with him? And so.
Especially since we know that the relationship between weight and health is extremely complex, and you really can't make any moral judgments on a person.
Yes, you can. And it's not complicated. If you look like you ate your family, you're not healthy.
Based on their weight. And lastly, let's talk about disabled people. Disabilities come in a very wide range, from being deaf to being in a wheelchair to only having one arm, and I think it's pretty ridiculous to say that you couldn't be attracted to any person who has any of those disabilities.
You're talking about nature again. It's not something you learn, or at least not the normal people. It's natural for a person to want someone that can share in all the activities he does, as it's normal that someone that wants children will not be attracted to a person that cannot have children.
Disabilities can happen to anyone. Someone you're extremely attracted to today could become disabled tomorrow, and that shouldn't make your attraction to them disappear. Though if it does, it might not be because of them, but rather because you have some preconceived ideas about disabled people that are just inaccurate and harmful.
Sometimes yes, but not always. Many people will leave what they wanted or dreamed for the person they are with. And many will feel bad about it and eventually will hate the person. Everything depends on the situation.
Unsurprisingly, this is another case of the media telling you that a certain group isn't attractive. Disabled people are rarely romantic leads. Their stories in movies and TV shows are often tragic, but that doesn't reflect the reality that disabled people can be happy and have dating lives and be attractive. Now, if you're not attracted to someone, you're not attracted to them. I'm not going to tell you that you have to be attracted to this fat person or that trans person or that disabled person.
Hey stupid, that's exactly what you said in all of this video.
But the more you work at unlearning your own prejudices, the more you'll be able to see people from these groups as people.
To see people as people does not mean that I am attracted to them. Not every human being is attracted to each other, and that does not mean that they do not see each other as human beings.
Rather than tired stereotypes. Unlearning our own biases doesn't happen overnight, and I don't have a step-by-step instruction guide for you. But I think if you can accept that these prejudices exist in all of us, even you can identify them when they come up and work to change how you think about them. It will most likely be a long, slow process, but I think it's worth it. Because these dating preferences—
Hey, you really do not understand human nature, so I have questions for you. Are you attracted to your father or your mother, maybe your brother or your sister? If not, I'm sorry to tell you, but you are family phobia. Are you attracted to your dog or cat? If not, I'm sorry to tell you, but you are pet phobia. Are you beginning to understand the stupidity of what you say? Probably not. Ask for a refund from your teachers. Hope you've learned something and you've enjoyed. If so, you know what to do.